But if you understand the more human sort of nuances around it, then the technical things become tools instead of being crutches. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I just hit record again real quick because you're saying gold and I want to listen to it later just for myself. Yeah. That's the thing. That is the thing. The tactical stuff shouldn't be relied on, and you can't see, you're making me think now, because I'm always trying to think how to explain it to the guys. You know what I'm saying? And you said it very well there. I'm always just trying to say, like, I could give you the word tracks all day long. Your mind needs to be right, or else you're not going to perform at your best. You won't be the best version of you if you don't go and meditate for half an hour before your call. Like that's how I'm going with it. And, it's not for everyone, but that's how I run my sales teams. If you want to come with me, that's how it is. And I honestly believe that's true, but I do have a hard time articulating it. I will say that.
And I'm with you. I think it's true too. And I just got to the point of viewing it as, those things are tools, but they're tools that should never become crutches, right? Because if they become a crutch, now what happens when you're in a situation where that talk track isn't resonating with the person you're talking to, right? If you don't have the dexterity, and if you don't have the confidence, and if you don't have the ability to move off of that talk track in the moment and read and interpret what the person is saying, and then react in the moment, it's going to fail, and it's probably going to end up being a disaster. So those things are tools that should never evolve into being crutches. And the biggest tool should be you. And then you've got these other tools in your toolbox. And I think that in many circumstances, people, and we're sort of wired to do this, we're sort of wired to expect the tools to make the craftsperson. And the tools don't make the craftsperson. The craftsperson makes the tools.
Yeah, love it. And they use the tools, and they interchange the tools. Yeah. I always say, like, I want you to be able to use your intuition to know where that person's coming from emotionally, and serve them on the highest level in that moment. Actually help them in that, like, the sales call is broken into like 1,000 pieces. Each little piece, you need to figure out what the hell they're talking about. If they have a pain point, of course, go deeper and ask deeper questions and get down to the emotional pain, like, how's it affecting your family, blah, blah, blah. But then instead of just going to the next word track and like going to the next question, use your intuition there and actually feel into the person and really feel where they're coming from. And then help them, like, educate them on something and solve something right there for them. And throughout the sales call, by the end of it, you have given them so much value and given them so many epiphanies. It's a given they're going to buy the thing you're selling them, because you've already solved 500 subconscious problems for them. They didn't even realize it. That's how I'm trying to build my sales structure, but it all comes down to the person having the inner work and having the objective observation of themselves. I always tell them, if you can't hover above yourself and watch yourself do a sales call, you're not there yet. You need to be 2 steps ahead of yourself at all times, watching and knowing what to say next based on feeling, not based on the script, Yeah.
Well, that's scary territory for most of us, right?
Totally.
Because if it's about me and it's not about the tools, then I've got the responsibility and accountability for my success or failure. If it's about the tools, now it's about, well, the script isn't good enough. The talk track isn't good enough. My training wasn't good enough. My product training wasn't good enough. Right.
Yeah.
And if someone's in that place and they've not yet evolved to the point of saying, look, those things are all just tools in the toolbox, but it's up to me to have enough knowledge and enough confidence and enough ability to read the situation to then navigate it, appropriately. But that's scary, because then that means that you are separating yourself from the tools, and it's an acknowledgement that the tools don't make me successful. I make myself successful, and I leverage the tools, and that's scary for most people, because when you reach that level, now it's a level of accountability, right? I mean, it's sort of like an athlete, right? And you can probably relate to this given your athletic background. If you're a cyclist, for instance, right, and you have your coaches and you have your trainers, etc., but when you hop on the bike, if you just make a decision, to read, what's happening and pick the right lines, and you just don't get off the bike, you're probably going to progress over time, right?
Yep.
And I think there's a lot of parallels to athletics and business, because athletes, when you sign up to be an athlete, you sign up for individual accountability, and I don't think that happens enough in business.
Spot on. Yep. Accountability is the main word there, because when you're relying on the tools as a crutch, you can blame them. When you're relying on yourself and you realize it's just a tool and whatever, it's on you. You have to be responsible for your own shit.
Yeah. And now you better get better. And if you're not there, now you have the responsibility to get better really fast.
Yeah. Yeah. So you need to take responsibility for getting better. You need to take responsibility for your own shit. And then of course, here's a tool belt for you, by the way. Take these tools and go out and create your own tools using your inner magic, right?
Yep. I think the best salespeople that I've ever worked with and I've ever encountered, they leverage very little of the tools they're provided, or that they come up with their own tools that better work with how they want to approach conversations, right? And they're often looked at as sort of rogue and rebellious, but I think they're actually grounded in something that's really important, which is they know that they make the difference, that the tools don't make the difference.
Yeah, spot on. Love it. Cool, man. All right, I appreciate it, man. Thanks.